All right, you guys, let's talk about life path number 2. All right, so when we're talking about life path number 2, we're essentially talking about 12 energy. So if you go back and you watch my video on 12 energy, they're going to be overlapping details, but I wanted to provide additional insight. Now, as I said in my previous videos, I am not the formulator of life path numbers, but I often tend to disagree with the meanings a lot of numerologists give to numbers. So I figured, hey, why not share what we think and provide some additional insight? So hopefully if you're life path number 2, this resonates with you. Now, when we're talking about the number 2, naturally, we're talking about the next step after 1. Okay, so if 0 is source, 1 is creating your own individual space, what is 2? Connecting with the spaces of others. So when we talk about life path number 2, we're essentially talking about interpersonal connection, mindset as well, because 2 is also the number of the mindset, thought patterns, belief systems. Okay, perspective is 4, but belief systems and mindset and the way you think about yourself and about the world is also 2, because it's a relational energy. How you relate to the world heavily depends on what you think about the world. How you connect with others heavily depends on what you think about others, okay? And how you relate to other energies and beings and situations and circumstances in general, okay? So as I provided to you in my previous life path video, I'm always going to, when I talk about attributes at all, there's always a light and dark aspect, okay? And as a heavy proponent of shadow work, I want to provide both. So if you're a life path number 2, I'm sure you're someone who can be quite a people person. You can be quite social. But on the shadow aspect of that, you may have tendencies to be a little bit awkward socially, okay? Because when you're talking about a life path number, you're talking about an energetic focus in this lifetime, which essentially means that there is growth to take place in a certain realm. So if you think of it that way, someone that is focused on this realm in this lifetime may tend to need a little bit more help being able to connect. Okay, so that's another layer to add to this understanding. This is someone who can be a little bit unstable and inconsistent in general. Okay, you may be someone who tends to quit jobs. This may be someone that has a difficulty connecting, committing. Okay. Now, this is also someone who can be incredibly mindful. But on the opposite end of that, you may tend to be erratic or impulsive, okay? This is someone who may have consistent, constant interests, but this can also be someone who's fickle in regard to what they want to relate to, okay? You may engage in hobbies and then detach yourself from those hobbies as well pretty quickly, okay? This is someone who is just not fully willing to commit to any one thing, or interests can just change, right? The energies will sway you from one thing to another. Now, 2 is also the realm of inner child wounding, inner child work, and attachment styles, okay? So when you're life path 2, there's going to be a heavy desire to commit, to connect. But due to attachment issues, it may not always work or happen or last. And because of this, there could be a tendency to be codependent. Or on the flip side of that, you may tend to be overly detached. Okay, hence the attachment issue style. There is a desire. There is a yearning to connect. But there's still growth that needs to take place in order to do so healthily, fully. Okay, so the more you take time to learn about this aspect of yourself and do Realm of 2 work, the better the outcome will be, right? All right, and life path number 2s are going to tend to also be attracted to community efforts or like-minded groups of some sort, because the mindset, the belief system, if you're religious, you may tend to want to take part in church activities, right? Contribute to your community, anything that serves your belief system, but also allows you to connect or try to connect with others, right? It doesn't matter the depth of the connection, okay? When I talk about the previous things, we're talking about deeper connections. But life path 2s have no problem being social, right, for the most part. Life path number 2s are also going to tend to be quite childlike, effervescent, youthful, right? Adventurous, gregarious, right? Willing to try new things, especially if they're social, especially if they allow them to be around others, connect with others, okay? These are going to be the people that tend to have a lot of friends, right? Or acquaintances, let's say. But it's their nature. Now, with this can come a lack of stability, right? Because we're talking about 12 energy as well. 1 and 2 totals 3. Okay, because of the fact that 3 is the stable number. And we're talking about a being because of the number 1 navigating the realm of 2 of connection and mindset, right? Working towards the greater resonance of 3. So this is someone who is trying to gain mental strength, trying to learn discernment, right? And create relationships with greater intention instead of just opening themselves up energetically to everyone. Because the more people in your life, the greater burdens can be, because you're taking on the weight of all of those people. Because the more powerful your intention becomes, the more likely it is that your manifestations will become more stable, will last longer. Your relationships will gain stability and last longer. So be discerning, my loves. Have faith and stand firm in what you choose to believe. Be open to connecting with others. Do not fear it. And you will grow. Have a great day.